Welcome in, everybody, live here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. We're getting ready to go racing here tonight at Talladega SuperSpeedway here in Talladega, Alabama. It is getting ready to get absolutely down, dirty, wicked, and crazy for SuperSpeedway racing here in the Gen-6 Cup Series for the Madness Racing League. Season 3, race number 6 of 10, the regular season finale 2 weeks from now at the Chicagoland Speedway. These drivers are getting ready to take on the high banks, the world's fastest super speedway track in America. It's the Talladega Super Speedway. Welcome in, everybody, live here on the main broadcast cam as we welcome in you guys as the conclusion of qualifying is right around the corner. Getting ready to watch a awesome action-packed event here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into the Alabama 150. Michael Gregory currently scheduled on the pole, and he will be our pole sitter here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. We gladly appreciate everybody to head on over to the YouTube page located in the top right portion of your screen and give us a like, give us a subscribe, and give us a follow over there. We would gladly appreciate it. Michael Gregory will be on the pole here for the Alabama 150 in just a moment when we start here live at the biggest, most awesomest racetrack in the world. We'll have all of that for you in just a moment. Welcome in, everybody, live here as we are welcoming our drivers loading into their race cars. We are getting ready to go racing here tonight for what's going to be some epic action-packed racing. Looks like we're scheduled for what's going to be 63 laps. Okay, so that must be an odd number for the mileage being 2.66 mile asphalt oval. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll have two overtimes in the bank if we need them. Looks like we're moments away from getting the driver lineups kicked off here tonight for the main portion part of the event. Looks like we got about 16 cars going to round out the field. Ladies and gentlemen, as we're waiting on them to go ahead and get inside of the race cars, we'll pull up the starting grid. This will be the front 12 drivers starting 6 rows. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to meet your favorite driver? Ladies and gentlemen, down on the pole in the front row, starting in the first place spot, driving the number 12 Menards Mustang, Michael Gregory. On the outside of him will be the Exalta number 88 Camaro. On the front row from Coleman, Alabama, the hometown driver of Ty Robertson. Starting in the 4th place spot in the 2nd row from Welford, South Carolina, driving the number 02 PPG Mustang, Nicholas Maynard. And on the inside of him, driving the 777 Silver Bullet Chevy Camaro from Honorsville, Georgia, that's the old-timer Bobby Kyle. And on the outside of him, 3rd row, driving the number 81 First Bank Ford Mustang from Troy, Alabama, Terry Hughes Jr. And on the inside of him, driving the number 9 Rigid Home Depot number 9 Camaro from Lincoln, Nebraska, 2-time winner here in Season 3, Colin Cole. Coming all the way from McCreary County, Kentucky, driving the number 54 Crispy M&M Toyota Camry. That's Trenton Johns. And driving the number 18 Mobile 1 Ford Mustang from Troy, Alabama, Trent Hughes. On the outside of him from Wauchula, Florida, driving the number 9 Napa Auto Parts Camaro, Dominic Solano. And on the inside of him, driving the Eagle 1 Valvoline Ford Mustang from Ranger, Georgia, that's the Dr. Michael Ponder Jr. On the outside of him will be the number 45 Main and Trail Camaro from Newark, New Jersey, of Tim Powers. And behind him will be the Hawthornes, New Jersey, 5-time Cup Series winner in the 12th place spot here tonight, the Budweiser number 4 of Kevin Tankos. And driving the number 8, Bass Pro Shop Camaro from Asheville, North Carolina, that's Ty McIntosh. And driving the number 66 chromed out NR3 design Mustang on the top side of the racetrack from Union Beach, New Jersey, Neil Rutt. And driving the Engine 4 Coffee Company number 13 Camaro from Goldsboro, North Carolina, the owner of KnappDaddyRacing, driving the Premier Setups Camaro, Jonathan Smith. And rounding out the final spot here tonight from B-Town, Indiana, driving the number 11 discount tire Ford Mustang, Chris 90. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody's locked up and loaded into the race cars here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. We're getting ready to go racing here tonight at Talladega. We'll pull up tonight's keys of the race. If you want to find yourself going to victory lane, you're going to have to find yourself doing probably a little bit of everything, and mostly these. 3 sets of tires here tonight for 0 fast repairs, 60 laps around. Looks like going to be 63, so that must be 3 in the bank for the overtime, excuse me. Keys of the race, green flag pit stops, and survive till the end. Minimize the mistakes. And finally, who's going to shake and bake? Somewhere between 22 to 25 laps in Sunoco Racing Fuel. How will these drivers manage Talladega here tonight inside of the Madness Racing League Gen-6 Cup Series? One more race remains after tonight here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel for the regular season finale 2 weeks from now at Chicagoland. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't want to miss a thing as the playoffs are right around the corner. Kansas, Dover, and Vegas will be the final 3 races we fake out on the year. Ladies and gentlemen, Peter the Pace Car roars through turns 3 and 4, bringing these race cars to life. Grab another beer, light another cigarette, go tell your old lady to sit her ass down. The hot Alabama sun is out here today, and we are getting ready to go racing. We'll pull up tonight's weather report. 73 degrees, 11-mile-an-hour winds. How will this affect the handling on the race cars? Cloudy condition out here tonight with 82% of humidity. So these guys that are wearing those driver suits are going to have them sticking to them. It's going to be icky, nasty out here inside of the race cars. Ladies and gentlemen, looks like Peter the Pace Car will hang the left down on the pit lane, and it will be, looks like Michael Gregory bringing him to the green flag here to kick off tonight's Alabama 150. Bet your favorite driver, you got them locked and loaded. Here we go, folks. Green flag is in the air here from Talladega SuperSpeedway. We're racing in the Madness Racing League, and you have yourself a virtual race. Ribbon and roar and climbing up the banking here in turns 1 and 2 at the Talladega SuperSpeedway. Ty Robertson leads the inside line. Michael Gregory will shoot down there, and he will definitely block it off. How will these guys battle side by side? Drag race down the back straightaway. These guys are not going to give an inch here tonight, knowing that one more race remains after tonight's event at Chicagoland to find out who's going to be the top 10 drivers advancing to the playoffs. We'll have all that information to you here as tonight's Alabama 150 unfolds. You have yourself a virtual race. Ty Robertson will lead lap number 1 here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel on the inside line as he'll throw the block over Michael Gregory. Robertson on the inside being pushed by the number 12 Ford Mustang of Michael Gregory. The outside line being led by the number 02 of Nicholas Maynard. Trying to get a push from the number 81 of Terry Hughes Jr. Heading off to that turn 2 exit. Flying down the back straightaway. Each guy is going to have to hold their race cars. One another is going to be tight all night long. You're riding out the front nose of the first bank Ford Mustang of Terry Hughes Jr. He's going to have his hands full all night here tonight, knowing that he's the hometown driver here in Alabama. The fans are going to rip, roar, and rave all night long for the number 81, because we got several Coleman, Alabama drivers here tonight. Terry Hughes Jr. looking to make a move around the number 02 of Nicholas Maynard. Maynard's going to have to defend it there. They're 3 wide behind him. That's the number 9 of Dominic Solano trying to make something shake up the middle. He'll clear the number 81, and he's got the second place spot on the outside line. Flying down the back straightaway, Ty Robertson's just trying to hold a steady line here for the number 12 Mustang of Michael Gregory, the number 9 of Colin Cole up here trying to make something shake. So we got 2 number 9s in the field here tonight. Here comes Trent Hughes, the younger brother of Terry Hughes Jr. Will he make a move to that outside line, try to get it up and moving? But it looks like Terry Hughes Jr. sped his way down on the bottom side of the racetrack. This is number 8, Quick Shift Bass Pro Shop Machine of Ty McIntosh making his debut here tonight in the Gen-6 Cup Series from Asheville, North Carolina. Currently rounding out the 8th place spot. He looks like he's about the 6th or 7th place down on the bottom side of the racetrack, stuck in line, trying to get around this number 13 Ford Mustang of the Dr. Michael Ponder Jr., who's slowly working his way up towards the front of the pack. You're riding on board with the number 13 of Michael Ponder. Does he put the bumper to the back of the Toyota 54? No, he thinks better of it. He'll lay off to Trent Johnson. They climb the banking up turns 3 and 4. Ducks. Single file in a row. No, never mind. Trent Johns will settle the top side of the racetrack and throw the block over Michael Ponder Jr. That'll make Nicholas Maynard get loose on the outside, and Dominic Solano will make it 3 wide off the exit of turns 3 and 4. Heading back across the long front straightaway here, an extra 1,000 feet added on here at Talladega, which makes for an epic finish. Who's going to be the Drag Racing 2 finishers here tonight, trying to make their way to victory lane? Right now, though, it's 5 laps into the Alabama 150, and everybody's not giving each other an inch. Guys are making moves, jumping up to the top side of the racetrack, to the bottom side of the racetrack. How does handling come into effect here tonight? These aren't the next-gen race cars, and ladies and gentlemen, if you have been an advocate fan here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel, we've had a full season of these Gen-6 Cup cars underneath our belt, as well as the next Gen Cup cars. We're back here in Season 2 for the Gen-6 Cup Series, and these guys are putting on a damn good show here in Talladega. Everybody that's in the chat, 33 of you live watching right now, if you're loving what you're seeing, grab another beer, light another cigarette, stay for a little bit, slap that like button, press that follow button. You're watching the Alabama 150 here for the Madness Racing League Gen-6 Cup Series race here tonight. Race number 6 of a 10-race schedule. The regular season finale 2 weeks from now at the Chicagoland Speedway, as these guys are ripping and roaring here around Talladega. We'll go ahead and get you those point standing systems so you can see who was going to be doing what, when, where, and why when we get there. The top 10 drivers will advance to the playoff system here inside of the Madness Racing League, and everybody else below that will fall out. Everybody will still race, though, the rest of the year. Right now, though, the number 81 of Terry Hughes Jr. on through Blake Koschchild have themselves locked in a playoff spot here inside of the Madness Racing League Gen-6 Cup Series, with the playoffs beginning a couple of weeks from now. How will these guys manage the race here tonight? Climbing the high banks at Talladega, heading across the front straightaway to complete lap number 6. Maynard's jumped to that outside line of that number 02 Ford Mustang PPG Team Penske Development machine from Wilford, South Carolina, and he's gotten shuffled back here to the back half of the pack after starting in the 4th place spot. He's currently riding out in the 4th place position, riding behind the number 66 of Neil Rutt III, riding out of the front gyro cam of the number 02 Nicholas Maynard. He'll take the run with the number 66 who hit the outside wall. How does this run combobulate down the back straightaway? 3 wide here at Talladega. Neil Rudd will have no choice but to abandon the number 02, but does he stay with him off turns 3 and 4? Maynard shoots a little bit high as here comes the number 9 of Dominic Solano. 3 wide here at Talladega off the exit of turn 4, heading back across the front straightaway. The crowd rips and roars. The number 8 of Ty McIntosh pulls door to door here with the number 54 Toyota Camry of Trent Johns. Dominic Solano shoves the number 13 of Michael Ponder outside of the groove here, and he'll shove his way back into the line, but can he get the drafting momentum help that he needs behind him to pull himself up to the back bumper? You're looking at the rear cam, and looks like Ponder will throw the block off Maynard. They'll work off the banking of turn 2. You're riding around in this number 12 Ford Mustang of Michael Gregory. You sit on the pole, and next thing you know, you're 7 laps deep into the Alabama 150, sitting 7th. That's how quickly things change here from lap to lap. It's at Talladega on these super speedways. These guys are driving the Gen-6 race cars. The runs are absolutely insane. Ty McIntosh is having to throw blocks here tonight at Talladega to try to keep the race lead, but he won't be able to clear the number Trenton Johns 54 machine. Caution flag flies here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. We got trouble on the front straightaway. Just mentioned throwing blocks. Looks like Trenton Johns gets tagged in the left rear here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Caution flag flies here. The number M&M machine, Michael Ponder Jr. here on the outside wall. Trent Hughes is caused in the wreck as well. The Alabama 150 is currently underneath the caution flag here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. We'll throw up the instant replay as we back that ass up here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Trouble going into turn 1 here in the Alabama 150. Looks like Trent Hughes runs into, looks like going to be Trenton Johns. Too many Trentons out here on the racetrack. Got confused. The number 54 Camry down on the bottom side. He's got no help. Here comes the Dr. Michael Ponder Jr. Just a shot to the left rear. Gets him loose. And he has to go around. Bobby Kyle gets a little piece of this accident. Some great racing and awareness right there from Colin Cole to avoid the accident. Trent Hughes just on the brake car, but nowhere to go. We'll back that ass up one more time. We'll ride out the tail cam, of the number 54 of Trent Johns. It looks like he'll get his M&M smashed here on the front straightaway, and it looks like I like the way that he is being raced here tonight. Huge run down as you see the middle here from Michael Ponder Jr. He gets himself cleared over Ty Robertson on the bottom line. Don't blame him. Just a bad shot gone wrong here on the front straightaway. Gets Trent Johns big loose on the front straightaway. In trouble here into turn one. Several guys involved. Trent Hughes trying to get away from it here. You hear him trying to back this machine up. Looks like everybody's still up and rolling. Michael Ponder Jr. coming to a stop here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. He's got damage looking out the tail end of his machine. Peter the pace car still stuck down here on pit lane. We'll see how things shake out here in just a moment. Caution flag out here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel for the first time here in the Alabama 150. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Cleanup is on our way here in the Alabama 150 for the first accident here going into turn one. Trenton Johns on that number 54 Toyota Camry with M&M's on board this week. Absolutely got a sweet tooth. Goes around here on the front straightaway courtesy of the doctor. Michael Ponder Jr. looking out the tail cam of Peter the base car. He's putting in some extra work here tonight, trying to make things shake. You're looking at the number 8 of Ty McIntosh. Playing around the camera here. He must see himself live on the stream playing a couple games. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Alabama 150. We're underneath the caution flag for the first time here tonight. Do we get any kind of pit takers down on pit lane as it'll open up this time around? Ladies and gentlemen, heard a couple guys spotting back and forth here over the radio chat between one another, just kind of playing and kind of tell guys to calm down here. We know the runs are huge inside of these race cars. These guys are going to have to stay patient here tonight and choose these runs wisely. They'll head off the banking of turns 3 and 4 here. Pit lane will be open this time around. Do we get any takers? Led by the number 8 of Ty McIntosh and his Chevy Camaro. 3 Camaros around out the top 3 spots. Then you'll get the first Ford Mustang of Neil Rutt the third. Looks like everybody's going to call it quits and bring it down on the pit lane. Led by Dominic Solano and Ty McIntosh. Everybody looks like, I would imagine, going to be stop and go, splash and go, gas only here. For majority of the drivers here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. We'll walk around here and see how everybody elects to play it here. We'll ride around with the 777 of Bobby Kyle from Honorsville, Georgia. Bobby Kyle, 65 years old. Been doing this shit for a very, very long time. I'll slide into his third place pit box here on pit lane. Looks like they're not even going to jack up the race car at all for tires. So it is going to be a gas only stop here for Bobby Kyle in the 777. But he's stuck on the jack here a little bit. Everybody else, Maynard, who threw on 2 fresh tires right there, will get on and off of pit lane before Bobby Kyle. But it'll be Ty McIntosh winning that battle off of pit lane, followed by Neil Rutt the third, Michael Gregory, Nicholas Maynard, Chris Knighty will go side by side with Colin Cole, Dominic Solano, Ty Robertson, Terry Hughes Jr., and Bobby Kyle coming off pit lane now. That'll be your top 10 drivers. Pit stop here at Talladega. We'll take one more and be back in just a moment. Ty McIntosh will be your race leader when we return. Bang! Ladies and gentlemen, are you an advocate iRacing fan and you need yourself a brand new paint scheme, a brand new custom number, or some kind of spec map to make your race car shine and pop out on the racetrack? Check out KnappDaddyRacing Designs at www.KnappDaddyRacingDesigns.com for all your iRacing paints, custom numbers, and spec designs. Ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time of year, getting ready to hit homers and get some base hits. Want to go check out CloseoutBats.com in Westwood, New Jersey, 140 Woodland Avenue at Westwood, New Jersey. Shop over 50,000 baseball and softball bats and gloves since 1992. Over 650,000 satisfied customers. Does your roads feel like absolute shit? Need a repaving? Check out CK Parking Lot Maintenance, 402-610-0691 for all your line striping, seal coating, repair, and crack joint sealing needs. Lights are off on top of the base car this time around on the Booty Scoot Racing channel, indicating to me as the broadcaster that we are getting ready to go back racing here tonight. A couple more guys are stuck down on the pit lane here. It looks like they have to catch up to the tail end of the field as they head off the banking of turn 2 here. Got one coming off a pit lane right now. McIntosh will be your race leader with Rhett to the outside of him. Gregory Maynard will fill out that second row, followed by Solano, Cole, Johns, and Kyle. The top 8 drivers here on the Booty Scoot Racing channels. The rest of the field merges their way back to the back half of the back. You're watching the Alabama 150. We'll get yourself down here on the racetrack for the race analysis. Up to this point, we're only about 10 laps in. 63-lap race here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. We've had one caution flag for about 3 laps right now. Non-lead changes already here on lap number 12 of the 63 scheduled here tonight. Talked to a majority of these guys in the race cars here tonight in the garage area, asked them what was going to be one of the key factors of the race here tonight that wasn't mentioned in one of our keys of the race. And these guys said was having a dancing partner. Well, this isn't Dancing with the Stars, and we're on TikTok, but we're not doing that kind of dancing. You're going to have a partner here tonight that's going to want to push you, going to want to be willing to be behind you and make things move throughout the pack. Whether or not you decide to stay with them, dump them, leave them on the back half of the race, or whenever you choose to, that is on you, and that's something that you have to live with as a race car driver. But if I'm in one of the race cars here tonight, I'm trying to make as many friends as possible. So when you're pulling out of line, taking runs that may necessarily could lead to a wreck or lead to tons of wadded up shit here at Talladega, I recommend that these guys try to pick a dancing partner and be smart about it. Green flag will fly this time around. Ty McIntosh will lead the field here, the extra 1,000 feet here to the start-finish line. It is guaranteed to give us a awesome finish here tonight if we can keep it green. We're only 12 laps into the Alabama 150. Green flag is back in the air here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Ty McIntosh going it over here with Neil running the third, and Michael Gregory followed by Nicholas Maynard. They'll climb the banking into turns 1 and 2. McIntosh misses the block on the top side, has to go down to the bottom side with Neil Rutt the third. These guys will rip and roar back up through the motors, back up through the engines, trying to make speed back around here to complete the restart lap. And we'll get you down on the racetrack for tonight's first Madness Racing League, Fast and Loud. Flying back across the front straightaway here, climbing the banking up in turn 1 into the Alabama 150 Madness Racing League Gen-6 Cup Series race here tonight at Talladega. Climbing up the banking, heading off of turn 2. These guys are back up in action, not sparing each other, and it's flying down the back straightaway. Several guys have jumped up and down from the bottom to the top side of the racetrack. Neil Rutt the third in this number 66 Ford Mustang has grabbed the bottom line here and redeemed the race lead. Does he elect to throw a block over the number 9 of Dominic Solano, who's charged up here in this Napa Auto Parts machine? Number 9 down on the bottom side of the racetrack is the number 8 of looks like gonna be Ty McIntosh, getting big time loose. Dominic Solano from the top side of the racetrack to the bottom. He'll clear himself for the race lead here at Talladega. But here comes Nicholas Maynard on the outside in the PPG Ford Mustang with a push from the Bobby Kyle 777 Silver Bullet machine. There's 3 of them on the outside trying to make something shake here in Talladega. Bobby Kyle all over the back bumper of Nicholas Maynard, trying to give him a push to the front of the back here. Can he get himself clear of the inside line? He'll get a push behind him from the number 9 of Colin Cole. That outside line's moving now. They're clear into turn 3. Maynard, Kyle, side by side. Bobby Kyle a little bit loose back there behind him, but Maynard will stay in the middle lane here and bring that outside line with him. Can he get the number 54 Toyota of Trenton Johns clear? The number 8 will jump out from that inside line. That'll kill the front 2 drivers here, or they are way too far out front of the number 12 of Michael Gregory, who jumped the line on the outside. He sees the momentum in front of him. That'll bring the number 88 of Ty Robertson with some great momentum to the front half of the field as he grabbed them. How does the aerodynamics, whatever the hell I'm really trying to say, pull him forward down the back straightaway? We won't really be able to get a good look of it here as 2 more guys will jump in front of him. That'll definitely bring that inside line soaring as Nicholas Maynard still holds Bobby Kyle here on the front top side of the racetrack, and they'll clear himself down on the bottom side into 3 and 4. Trenton Johns door-to-door here with Ty McIntosh, looking for a hold of field down on the bottom side, and he'll do just that around Michael Gregory and head right across his front windshield. Ty McIntosh trying to find a way back into the bottom side of the line, but Dominic Solano wanting to side draft a little bit here, and side drafting was one of the big keys inside of these Gen 6 race cars that really was the key to be able to get around on the mile-and-a-half racetracks. This is the SuperSpeedway. The runs are massive here at Talladega, Daytona, type racetracks, as these guys never really had the chance to go to Atlanta Motor Speedway since it was reconfigured with the Gen 6 race cars. Right, trying to charge on the outside of the outside line. Can he get the rear quarter panel? Maynard climbing the banking through. Sparks starting to kid out here at the bottom of these race cars, indicating to us here that these guys are battling some handling conditions here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing Channel. Right now, though, Neil Rutt III is battling door-to-door with Nicholas Maynard. Rutt, though, look at this shit right here, folks. The 66 up from the 14th place spot from where he started here tonight. He's in the 2nd place position, and these 3 guys are lined up nose to tail, big time loose on the outside for the NR3 Designs Mustang. 2 blue ovals leading here in Talladega, flying down the back straightaway. .43 laps remain here inside of the Alabama 150. The quick shift fast pro shot machine of Ty McIntosh giving an absolute massive shot and a push to the back bumper of Neil Rutt III. You see them make connection there across the front straightaway. These guys are going to have to be patient. Ty McIntosh, if he ain't seen some of the past races before, he'll split them 3 wide across the front straightaway. We're 3 wide for the race lead here at Talladega. Maynard stays low here with his drafting partner, the 777 of Bobby Kyle. We just talked about that. Trent Johns gets slapped on the inside. He'll bubble, that'll kill that outside line. Not to get it weak, finger down the back straightaway. Johns will find a hole down on the bottom side and fill his way in front of the number 12 Ford Mustang of Michael Gregory. Right behind the number 9 Home Depot machine of Colin Cole, who fills in the 3rd place spot on the bottom row. On the outside, though, McIntosh gets a great shot to the number 66 of Neil Rutt. They'll climb to the top side of the banking as Dominic Solano rides down the middle of the racetrack, feeling it here in Talladega. 3 wide here. Looks like McIntosh will think better of it here. Just jump out of line inside of this number 8 quick shifts machine and actually listen it in right here to some of these guys. Audio here on the main broadcast cam with Southern Speed Company. Number 8 Bass Pro Shop machine currently running around in the 8th place spot here from Asheville, North Carolina. His teams are going ahead and telling him, find you a spot on the bottom side of the racetrack and get ready for some green flag pit stops. If we can get there, the last thing we need to do is be gridlocked somewhere where we can't get down to the bottom side of the racetrack and have to take an extra lap around Talladega, which could be an agonizing 2.66 mile extra lap that you may not need. Right though, Alpha Turn 4, it's Maynard, Kyle, Cole, Johns, and Solano, the top 5 drivers here at Talladega. And this front 5 group is pulled away from the pack behind them, led by Michael Gregory. So we got 2 different groups here at Talladega. See, this is what we were talking about by taking all the runs possible. Neil Rutt the third in that number 8 McCarr jumped to the top side of the racetrack. It was only 3 of them lined up on the bottom to the other 4. These guys got discombobulated, disconnected somewhere down the back straightaway, and it cost them the gap that you see right there from the back bumper of Dominic Solano all the way to Michael Gregory. We'll keep an eye on those lap times though here as we continue to knock off the laps underneath the green flag condition here at Alabama and Talladega Superspeedway, trying to figure out who's going to go to victory lane here for race number 6 of the regular 10 race schedule, but the regular season ending 2 weeks from now at Chicagoland. You're going to want to grab a victory quick and early if you're one of these guys that are racing full-time. Johns will pull out from the bottom side of the racetrack here, looking to get another run of the front of the racetrack. This time it'll be off the front bumper of Neil Rutt. He won't be giving the pushes. He'll be taking them. Johns here trying to hold a steady line from the guys on the outside of him here. Rutt gets a little bit discombobulated here and gets to the right rear quarter panel. That could register for disaster here. We kept it clean so far to this point. We have 1 caution flag back on lap number 7 for a little bit of a spin on the bottom side of the racetrack. Nothing crazy. Rutt though with a huge shot, not coming off the back bumper of Trent Johns as they climb the bacon through 3 and 4. Drag race across the front straightaway. Rutt will clear Johns around Nicholas Maynard for the race lead, and Maynard will fall back to the 2nd place spot. 25 laps are completed this time around out of the scheduled 63 for the Alabama 150. It'll be Johns, Maynard, Rutt, Kyle, McIntosh, the top 5 across the line. Michael Gregory having a disaster race here, trying to get up to the front half of the package, close it up big time. Can he get to the drafting help with the number 9 of Colin Cole? You're looking out the front nose of the Pecan of Freeze Menards number 12 machine, hauling down the back straightaway. He's got a whole tail of cars behind him, but can they keep it together and get themselves back connected to the back bumper of the guys in front of them? Guys like Kevin Tanko, John Smith, and Terry Hughes Jr. all trail back here in this back half pack. Jonathan Smith running part-time on the season in this number 13 Premier setup from Goldsboro, North Carolina. Chevy Camaro trying to work his way up to the front half of the field. His game plan to him tonight, told us in the garage, was taking it easy. He wanted to be one of the guys that were hiding back in the back half of the field, but still had a race car when it came time to race in the closing laps. You're riding out of the front nose of the Engine 4 Company Camaro off the exit of turn 2. Everybody sneaking the way down the back straightaway, led by the number 54 of Trenton Johns, followed by Nicholas Maynard, Bobby Kyle, Colin Cole, Dominic Solano, Neil Rutt, Ty McIntosh as they climb the banking here at 3 and 4. Michael Gregory on a full head of steam with a huge run to the front half of the field. Maynard will pull up to the outside with Bobby Kyle as Michael Gregory gets a huge shot to the back bumper of the 777 of Bobby Kyle. Can this outside line clear themselves for the number 54 coming across the line to complete lap number 26? 3 wide across the front straightaway. Maynard gets himself clear back to the front half of the pack. Trenton Johns pulls up right behind him. He'll pick up the draft. Gregory gets shoved away up the racetrack by Bobby Kyle. The 64-year-old will want to leave the line on the outside. Does he have it up in this Silver Bullet 777 to get a run to the front of the race car? To the front of the race pack. In this Coors Light 777, Bobby Kyle racing one of these BKM racing engines. Does he have the horsepower and the momentum to jump to the front of the field? Colin Cole leads that outside line, but too much momentum from Bobby Kyle and the number 12 of Michael Gregory up the middle there will ship Colin Cole up the racetrack. He wants no part about it. He ain't even going to try to block that run. The outside line, about 2, 4, 5 car lengths away from the inside line. They don't merge it a little bit closer into turns 1 and 2. Maynard on the outside being pushed by Bobby Kyle, trying to make something shake as the number 8 of Dominic Solano tries to get a push here. The number 9 machine all over the back bumper of Trent John. Maynard, Bobby Kyle on the outside with Michael Gregory on the inside here trying to make something shake, but he just can't get around that number 02. If he side drafts the 02, that'll slow up the pack that they have on that outside line. But right now, though, they got better shit to worry about. We got lap traffic slowly approaching ahead of us. That's the number 45 of Tim Powers. Tim Powers has a fast race car here tonight, but he was involved in that accident earlier tonight as he's left the back half of the pack. He's all by himself. He's lost touch of the draft. Right now, though, Tim Powers' guys are telling him, try to be a dick and go down the middle of the pack. If you can split the group down the back straightaway, you may have a chance to grab the tail end of this draft and pull yourself back up through the field and try to get yourself back on the lead lap. MND Motorsports has brought a bad fast, a stupid fast, number 66 NR3 design. Mustang, big loose down on the bottom side goes Ty McIntosh. He's able to hold on to the race car, though, back onto the track. He's throwing dirt all over the front straightaway. The Southern Speed Company in number 8. What a save from the Bass Pro Shop Camaro. Lap traffic swirl in effect here right in front of the field, down the back straightaway. Powers will move to the third lane on the outside. Maynard will use that to his advantage. He'll get a little bit of drafting help from the number 45 with Bobby Kyle pulling something around to the front straightaway. That'll discombobulate the 54 and the 66 of Neil Rutt. They'll have to figure something out here across the front straightaway. Lap number 30 being complete will come across the line. This time around, it'll be the halfway point. Bobby Kyle all over the back bumper of the PPG Ford Mustang of Nicholas Maynard as they climb the banking here at the front straightaway, heading the extra 1,000 feet across the line. Maynard leading some laps here tonight at Talladega. 8 laps led here for the Team Penske Development number 02 machine, but it has not been without the BKM help of Bobby Kyle. Bobby Kyle and this BKM Racing Silver Bullet running with who he knows best, 2 OG drivers going back and forth, trading shots down the back straightaway. Kyle trying to keep in line here, Trent Johns and Dominic Solano behind him. We got 4, maybe 5 more cars starting to pull back out to another gap over the rest of the field. Look at the line here at Talladega tonight, folks. Separated into 4 different groups. How do these guys get themselves back together before the green flag pit stops hit in just a moment? We were told here on the keys of the race somewhere between 22 to 25 laps, 28 laps being the max here tonight on green flag running is what you can do. It's been about 18 laps underneath the green flag conditions since these guys have went underneath the caution flag. How many more laps can they go? Who's going to be the first one to call it quits and bring it down on the pit lane? 32 laps complete this time around will be 33. Maynard, Kyle, John, Solano, and Rutt, the top 5 drivers, as they are separated by about 6 car lengths to the number 12 of Michael Gregory, Jonathan Smith, and led by Kevin Tankos and that Budweiser number 4 machine. Great time to talk about the number 4 of Kevin Tankos. He's probably got one of the most experience, especially when it goes to going to victory lane inside of the Madness Racing League Gen-6 Cup Series specifically. We have 1 whole season underneath our belt. You can go check that out on the YouTube page located in the top right portion of your screen. Kevin Tankos, the owner of Rush Motorsports, driving this Budweiser number 4 Camaro here tonight at Talladega, trying to make something shake. Kevin Tankos is a 5-time winner inside of the Gen-6 Cup Series, and he's got the strategy down most times, and most times when he doesn't have the strategy down, he's already out front in the contention of winning the race, leading majority of the lap. Jonathan Smith running part-time here and for the KnappDaddyRacing team. He's got a win underneath the year he was in the second place spot at the Kentucky Speedway when Colin Cole was disqualified. So that gave Jonathan Smith and that number 13 group a race win here on the year. Rutt's been shuffled out of line somewhere. Trent Johns has filled that hole to that back bumper of looks like going to be Bobby Kyle, and Neil Rutt the third now being told by his team to find a spot to go pit. So ladies and gentlemen, could we be knocking here slowly on the back door to the green flag pit stop? We'll get you down on the racetrack one more time for tonight's Madness Racing League Fast and Live. Heading back across the front straightaway here in the Alabama 150 with 27 laps to go here at Talladega. Maynard, Kyle, Rutt, Gregory Johns is how they'll run across the ticker line that last time around. This outside line has got to run, and it is not slowing down anytime soon. Bobby Kyle disconnected from Nicholas Maynard. That'll give Neil Rutt and Gregory the huge advantage off of turn 2. It's going to be a drag race down the back straightaway trying to figure it out. But it looks like Neil Rutt and Michael Gregory will clear themselves as well. It's Jonathan Smith. They'll pull right in front of the number 02 of Nicholas Maynard. What a run from that outside line. Flying with Billy the Blimp driver about 6,000 feet above the racetrack here at the Talladega SuperSpeedway, counting down the laps to the green flag pit stops. 26 laps to go here inside of the Alabama 150. Who's going to be the first one to call it quits and make that beautiful call down? If you do decide to make the pit lane call first, you want to make sure you have one of those drafting partners that we were talking about earlier here tonight. Right now, 2 blue ovals round out the front 2 spots, with another blue oval in Maynard right behind a Chevy and Jonathan Smith. Do the Ford ovals put together, or do the Chevy bow ties elect to stay out on the racetrack and try to something else? What about this lone Toyota Camry of Trent Johns? Does he elect to try something different here, or does he have no choice but to find some friends here and make something shake here on the long run everybody single file here at Talladega on the bottom side of the racetrack with 24 laps to go this time around. Been one hell of a day here today for the 777 of Bobby Kyle, just giving some hellacious shot there to that 0-2. They had a great run out front, the Silver Bullet from Honorsville, Georgia, and Bobby Kyle been sim racing probably than most of you's been a lot longer than most of you's been alive. The 777 Silver Bullet's got some fast speed here tonight, and this Camaro's looking to go to victory lane. He's got one of these Talladega SuperSpeedways underneath his belt inside of the Gen-6 Cup Series. Bobby Kyle, a two-time Madness Racing League winner. Does he have the advantage and the chance to go to victory lane here tonight? We'll see as we'll keep it right along with the Georgia driver for the remainder of the race here with 24 laps to go. Bobby Kyle's going to have some work to do here. Right now, though, we're listening in to the number 88 of Ty Robertson from Coleman, Alabama, to his pit crew. They're telling Ty Robertson you're fluctuating somewhere between 5 to 6 laps to go on fuel. It'll be on your call. We'll let you know what the guys in front of you do. Talk over the radio with your competitors to make sure that you have some kind of help here when you come off a pit lane. Right now, Ty Robertson inside of this Exalta Coleman, Alabama driver complaining a little bit of a snug condition through turns 1 and 2. And he says he's got way too much rotation in the back end when someone sucks up to him for the draft off turn 3 and 4. Lap traffic is right in front of us here on the Booty Street Racing channel, and it's the number 8 Bass Pro Shop machine of Ty McIntosh. From leading tonight's event from Asheville, North Carolina, to getting ready to lose a lap here. He'll stay on the top side of the racetrack here, right out of the way of the hard-moving train here of Neil Rudd and the rest of the pack. Rudd, though, has been discontinuated here from Michael Gregory here, his teammate right behind him. 2 blue ovals trying to make something shake down the back straightaway. Everybody snaking. 2 rules here inside of the Madness Racing League Super Speedway races, and here are the only simple, I shall say, fair rules at that. Number 1, no passing below the yellow line. None of these guys are to advance their positions below that yellow line unless they are forced. If somehow the number 8 was to get loose right now and knock the 777 of Bobby Kyle below the yellow line, Bobby Kyle would be A-OK. But if Bobby Kyle got to run to that back bumper, that 0-2, and try to make the pass on the inside below the yellow line, he would be black flagged here tonight inside of the Alabama 150. And the second and final rule inside of every single Madness Racing League drafting track race that we do here on the Booty Street Racing channel is no 3 wide passing into the completion of the first lap. We're well past that first lap. That is on any restart and the initial start of the race in any overtimes. So, ladies and gentlemen, if we do manage somehow to get another caution flag here at the Alabama 150 and we do restart the race, there is no 3 wide into the completion of that first lap here. It really brings in strategy into effect because these guys have to stay patient and gain the speed back up and plot their moves before making it here in the restart zone and crashing tons of vehicles here inside of the Madness Racing League. 21 laps to go here inside of the Alabama 150. Neil Rutt leads it with Gregory right behind him. Maynard in the 3rd place spot on the bottom side, slowly approaching the green flag pit stop, just waiting for our first camper to jump out of line and call it quits here on the Talladega SuperSpeedway. You're watching the Booty Scoot Racing channel. 90's leading his group back here. They're way back half. We didn't even see this group just a moment ago. We were relayed through the earpiece that we had another group on the racetrack. This could be detrimental to these guys. How does Chris Knighty, Trent Hughes, Colin Cole, and the Dr. Michael Ponder Jr. elect to play the pit strategy call? If these guys play it right, they'd be able to jump the main group. They might have a chance to be able to find themselves back in the lead half pack and stay on the lead lap at the same time, but it's going to have to be coordinated and planned perfectly. We got guys coming down pit lane in trouble on pit road. Bobby Kyle, Dominic Solano, Trenton John. Bobby Kyle with damage. Caution flag is out here inside of the Alabama 150. Trouble on pit lane led by Nicholas Maynard and the number 02 machine, Dominic Solano, Bobby Kyle, and Trenton Johns. Maynard will drive right on through and catch the tail end of the field. Solano will pull into his box and take the service. So will Johns and Kyle, but it's Neil Rutt heading down the back straightaway. Caution flag out here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Caution flag out after trouble on the pit lane. We had some takers after we had just called for it. We'll pull up the instant replay and take a look and see exactly What happened? It was green flag pit stops led by Maynard and the number 02. Bobby Kyle gets a little help behind him from Trenton Johns, and he goes hard into that inside safer barrier, enough to trigger the caution flag. We're right on board with Trenton Johns here. We'll back that ass up and make sure we get an absolute great look of what happened coming off of exit of turn 3 and 4 on the pit lane. You're right on board with Trenton Johns. Green flag pit stops being called out now off the exit of turn 4. Maynard, Kyle, John slow on the brake, taps into Bobby Kyle. That is what caused Bobby Kyle to hit that inside safer barrier and go around. We'll back that ass up one more time, see if we can't ride on the onboard cam that Bobby Kyle had earlier here tonight, and see if it don't show us exactly what the hell we were looking for. This will be a great shot. Bobby Kyle just trying to lock it down, but nothing he can do about it. Hard on the inside safer barrier. It's enough to trigger the caution flag here, so he's got to be grateful for that. Trenton Johns, though, just locks up that left front tire and gets right into the back of Bobby Kyle. What a hellacious shot there for the 64-year-old of Bobby Kyle, and if he wants to continue his racing career, he can't be taking too many of those. Trenton Johns just not sure if he had a brake failure. You see all the smoke coming everywhere from everybody locking up tires. Solano coming down on the pit lane as well. Caution flag will fly here. We've seen Maynard drive through the wreck. Bobby Kyle, Solano, Trenton Johns involved down here on the entrance of pit lane. The rest of the group will go around, being led by the 66 of Neil Rutt III. Caution flag is out here at the Talladega Superspeedway. Peter the pace car drifting sideways. We're back in just a moment here. Welcome back here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. We are behind Peter the Pace Car's caution flag cam for the Madness Racing League Gen-6 Cup Series place here at Talladega for the Alabama 150. We will kill the music here just a little bit. Looks like we'll get our green flag pit stops that we were oh so desperately close to getting, but this time it'll be underneath the caution flag, led by Neil Rutt III from Union Beach, New Jersey. Michael Gregory, Jonathan Smith will come down on the pit lane as well. We'll have one car stay out there. That'll be Ty McIntosh. We inspected that. The Asheville, North Carolina driver will stay out there to get the wave around. That'll put him back on the lead lap here in just a moment. Neil Rutt will pull down into his pit lane. He's going to ask for 2 fresh Goodyear tires here. They're pleading with Neil Rutt to please put 4 on it. And Neil Rutt looks like he'll give up here and put 4 on the race car from Union Beach, New Jersey. We'll see how things work out here. Looks like everybody else pulls down here. Maynard will pull down in his car. It looks like his guys are going to jack up the right side of the race car. And for the PPG Ford Mustang, they'll jump over to the left side. It's going to be 4 fresh Goodyear tires for the kid of Nicholas Maynard. Battle off pit lane here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. You'll see your favorite drivers make their way through. Neil Rutt III gets a great pit stop there from his NR3 design, boys. And we'll see how things shake out with Dominic Solano. Looks like he may become the race leader here after staying out on the green flag pit stop. No, he'll come down on the pit lane as well, as everybody else catches Peter the pace car, who is high, dry, and ahead down in the turns 2, off of turn 2, excuse me. Behind him will be the doctor of Michael Ponder Jr., Tim Powers, Trenton Johns, and looks like going to be Dominic Solano and this Napo Auto Parts machine. So Solano will stay out there underneath the caution flag, and he'll take the track position. We'll be back in just a moment here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Caution flag for the second time here tonight. Welcome back here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel, counting down the laps here into the pay window open for the Alabama 150 live here at Talladega. Only 2 caution flags up to this point. We're about 43 laps complete into tonight's event. It's been one hell of a show. Several guys leading back and forth here tonight. We'll pull up the race recap up to this point. Michael Gregory currently the race leader. It looks like Dominic Solano will come down on the pit lane and service that number 9 this time around. We've had 2 cautions for what's going to be 4 laps. Not exactly sure what the hell's going on there. Now 5. 19 different lead changes here tonight so far for the Alabama 150. And we are slowly working that 10 lap to go here any moment now. 47 laps are completed. It'll be 48. Take the green flag this time around on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. We gladly appreciate everybody tuning in to this point. We'll go ahead and pull up another weather report here. Looks like it's dropped about 2 degrees here tonight at Talladega, down to 73 degrees in Fahrenheit with a northeast wind blowing in at 9 miles per hour. Or if you're one of those Canadian fucks, 18 kiloknots per hour, whatever the hell it's called. Conditions partly cloudy still here, but we're starting to see a little bit of blue skies emerge here from the Alabama sky, excuse me. They're heading down the Alabama super stretch back straightaway, led by Peter the Base Car. He's having one hell of a night here tonight. We've seen him. Terry Hughes Jr., what a beautiful shot there. Right over our yellow cam down the back straightaway. Ladies and gentlemen, we do want to go ahead and remind you, since a lot of you guys probably just tuned in later portion parts of tonight. If you didn't hear our 2 rules of tonight's event, it is only very simple rules. No passing below the yellow line, and or you will be black flagged unless it is discriminated that you are otherwise forced down there. The second rule here tonight will be no 3 wide until the completion of the first lap on any restart, overtime, or start of the race. So ladies and gentlemen, when the green flag drops here on the restart, guys like Neil Rudd on the outside line and guys on the inside like Michael Gregory and Colin Cole, they can jump lanes from top to bottom, but they cannot go 3 wide. So if Gregory decides to throw a block here, checks up that outside lane, and somebody goes 3 wide and advances their position, it could mean trouble. But hopefully the admins are up there looking around, seeing we don't need none of that. We'll complete a first lap here and see how things shake out. Peter the Base Car takes that left down on the pit lane. They'll take the extra 1,000 feet to head towards the start-finish line. This time it'll be led by the number 12 of Michael Gregory, the pole sitter here tonight, with Neil Rudd on the outside, followed by Kevin Tango, who has flipped the track position here late with 17 laps to go. Green flag back in the air here at Talladega for the Alabama 150. Gregory flips to the gears here up the banking through turn 22. Down the back straightaway. Big shot there for the number 12 of Michael Gregory from the number 9 of Colin Cole. Really gets the number 12 loose as it moves down that back straightaway. Heading down into the banking of turn 3 and 4. Guys are getting discombobulated back here. Neil Rudd has been shuffled to the back half of the pack. And Maynard struck to that 3rd row. He'll have to feel his way back into line here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel with 16 laps remaining. The number 11 of Chris Knotty has entered the chat. No Kai Sinet, folks, here tonight in this discount tire. Number 11. Ford Mustang from B-Town, Indiana. Does Chris Knotty have enough here to make a charge to the front half of the field and get himself to victory lane for the first time inside of the Madness Racing League? Right now, he sits calm, patiently waiting and counting his numbers, riding behind the 0-2 of Nicholas Maynard. 2 Ford Blue Ovals trying to come up together with the plan here late on the Booty Scoot Racing channel to shake and bake their way to the front half of the field. 6 cars down on the bottom side, 12 on top. 1 jump from the bottom to the top. That's the number 13 of Jonathan Smith, who's up 12 spots from where he started. And look at this, folks, the blue oval of Trent Hughes making his way up to the front half of the field. The Hughes brothers from Troy, Alabama. The Alabama driver trying to make his way to the front of the field. The crowd, a rip and roar as Trent Hughes roars across the front straightaway, trying to push that outside line to the front half of the field. Trent Hughes has spent all year long beating and battering trying to get his way up into the playoff standings and go to the playoffs here in Season 3 of the Cup Series for the Madness Racing League. Right now, he's got a chance to go to victory lane at Talladega, slowly marching down the laps here with 14 laps remaining. You got Trent Hughes and his brothers right there stuck behind the number 4 of Kevin Tankos and Terry Hughes Jr. Can the two brothers get hooked up here at Talladega and push their way to the front? You best believe Trent Hughes is communicating back and forth with his older brother of Terry Hughes Jr. Does the Hughes brothers have something here tonight at Talladega to make their way to the front of the field? Right now, it's all Michael Gregory being pushed by Colin Cole in the CK parking lot, maintenance number 9 machine. John Smith has drafting help from a Ford Mustang behind him and Trent Hughes. Trenton Johns led a couple laps here tonight in the M&M's Camry. He's down on the bottom side, door to door with Kevin Tankos. Big time loose on the top side of the racetrack from Trent Hughes. That'll let Johnson switch up with the gap. 3 wide down the back straightaway. Michael Gregory throws a block from the top side of the racetrack to the bottom. Terry Hughes Jr. gets left up top to the top side of the racetrack, and that number 81 first base Ford Mustang. He's got drafting help though behind him for the number 81 of Ty Robertson. Robertson has played his cards patience all night long. You can feel the intensity and beginning to rise here at Talladega. 3 different lines trying to make momentum work here on the closing laps in the Alabama 150. Gregory, Cole, John, Solano, Smith across the line that last time around. Heading off the exit of turn 1, down the exit of turn 2 now. Ty Robertson trying to make a push there to Terry Hughes Jr. Get him something shaken to the front half of the pack. They'll get discombobulated there. Looks like Kevin Tankos jumps out of line. He sees a little bit of the shit that's happening in front of him, and he thinks better of it. 3 wide up the middle. Maynard's left by himself with the number 8 of Ty McIntosh. Everybody else sails to the top side of the racetrack like it's 2004. Everybody else down on the bottom side trying to hug that yellow line. Heading across the front straightaway here at Talladega. 12 laps to go here in the Madness Racing League Gen-6 Cup Series. Alabama 150. Top side of the racetrack goes Dominic Solano with this number 9 machine. Dominic Solano has kept his being quiet all night long here tonight from Wichita, Florida. Does he have enough to shove to the middle to the bottom side of the racetrack? Does the number 66, let him in the line? No, he doesn't. Heading down the back straightaway, Maynard's lifted that outside line by himself. Guys are jipping and dropping in from each side of the racetrack to the bottom to the top. Johns sees a run from the bottom to the top side of the racetrack. He'll take it. He'll have Maynard all the way in front of him. Maynard gets connected to the number 54. What kind of run can the number 02 generate for the Camry off the exit of turn 3 and 4? He'll get a run to that back bumper and get connected to the M&M Camry. Can they get pushed across the front straightaway and make their way back up across the front half of the pack? Counting down the laps here at Talladega, Johns will jump back down the bottom side of the racetrack. That'll leave the number 8 of Ty McIntosh, who has managed to make his way back on the front half of the field. But ladies and gentlemen, if you look over to the left side of your ticker, we're slowly marching down the laps, and guys are starting to work their way in here. Don't want to forget, though, folks, the number 77 of Bobby Kyle jumps from the bottom side of the racetrack to the top side as soon as I say his name. Scheduled a lap down here, racing in the front half of the pack. Bobby Kyle, the old-time veteran, getting drafting help, pushed from Nicholas Maynard, trying to get pushed out to the front. Maynard trying to keep Bobby Kyle on the lead lap here. Bobby Kyle will go around to the race lead, and he's scheduled on the race leader this last time around. Bobby Kyle from a lap down to unlapping himself through the drafting here, 9 laps remain here. The Honorsville, Georgia driver trying to make something shake. Gregory from the bottom to the top side of the racetrack that last time around. Looks like we'll have 7 cars up top to the 5 down low. How do these guys manage the closing laps here in the Alabama 150? Terry Hughes Jr. thinks about going down on the bottom side of the racetrack and trying to make something shake, but he'll think better of it that last time around. Caution flag is out here on the Talladega Superspeedway. Trouble into turn 3. It's Colin Cole, Chris Knighty involved. Trouble down the back straightaway. We will back that ass up for the instant replay. Caution flag is out here. Smoke all over the back straightaway heading into turn 3 on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. The camera angle must have not have seen us what we got. We got one already back there. That's Trent Hughes. He's lost his front bumper. but we kept it green down on the bottom side of the racetrack. It starts back here. Chris Knighty gets tagged in the left rear, and him and Colin Cole spin across the front straightaway, and the caution flag flies here at Alabama and Talladega. So we'll back that ass up right out the tail end of the discount tire. Number 11 of Chris Knighty from B-Town, Indiana. Really started to make his way up through the field just a moment ago. And we'll see how things shake out that left rear. Not sure entirely what happened to Chris Knighty as they climb the banking here at Talladega. Just gets shoved 3 wide there. It looks like Chris Knighty gets tagged in that left rear quarter panel. Yeah, excuse me. He gets turned around right across the nose of Colin Cole. Nothing that Colin Cole can do about it. We'll back that ass up. We'll ride out that front nose of Colin Cole. It'll give us a great look of exactly what we were looking for. Down the back straightaway, shot 3 wide with Trent Johns, Neil Rutt, Chris Knighty charging hard on that outside. And that blue logo was coming in there. Maybe it looks like Neil Rutt the third. Gets that outside line going, and it gets combobulated, and Colin Cole has nothing but a face full of Chris Knighty across the front straightaway. Almost back up on the top side of the racetrack and into traffic there. Colin Cole's able to keep it up on the banking, though, and able to keep it straight. Not entirely sure how the number 9's race will be affected here after the caution flag here in turns 3. But Chris Knighty tore up here at Talladega. He's going to be absolutely fuming inside of that race car with the way that things just played out here. Setting himself up here for the pay window. Chris Knighty's going to have to try to make something shake. But it's going to be Jonathan Smith score the race leader with the caution flag flies with Tankos, Hughes, Gregory, McIntosh, the top 5 drivers. We're back here in just a moment on the Booty Scoot Racing channel with the conclusion of tonight's Alabama 150. You'll want to keep it right here. Welcome back here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. We are sitting up here on top of the spotter stand at Talladega, getting a great look at this 2.66 mile asphalt oval. The draft has been absolutely crazy here tonight, and the wind, in effect, has helped things out big time. Guys are able to get big time runs to the back bumpers and are able to clear 2 to 3 to 4 cars at a time. Things are absolutely going to be chaotic here in the closing laps of the Alabama 150. The topic on top of the spotter stand here is, what do you do when it comes to having drafting help? A lot of these guys are going to want to come and try to win the race themselves. Here comes Trent Hughes. He's got a tore right front tire, and the front clip is absolutely destroyed on the Mobile 118 machine. We were just talking about him working his way up to the front half of the field. Colin Cole will pull down into his pit box. They'll service it this last time around. Anyway, the topic on top of the spotter box being here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel is, if you're in a blue oval, do you push a blue oval? If you're in a Chevy Camaro, do you push a Chevy Camaro? If your teammates out here on the racetrack inside of the Madness Racing League, do you stay loyal to your teammates? If you've been pushing somebody here all racing, you maybe feel like that might be your safest bet to go. What do you do here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel? We were dialing up some of the drivers here underneath the garage area, listening in to try to hear what some of these guys were doing inside of these race cars and what their plans and intended were to be. We talked to the 02 driver of Nicholas Maynard. You're riding on board, the number 02 of Nicholas Maynard right now. He's still telling his team here that they have already told Nicholas Maynard that he's led the most laps here tonight. No reason why he shouldn't leave here tonight with the trophy. But he's going to have to work. It looks like going to be 5, 6, maybe 7 spots up through the draft here. When they return, they told Maynard to be patient here. Expect more caution flags in the coming laps. Listen over here to this number 81 First Bank Ford Mustang team of Terry Hughes Jr. from Troy, Alabama. They come over here, they told Terry Hughes Jr., we've been here before. Do not let your emotions get the best of you like you did at Daytona, which led Terry Hughes Jr. to being suspended out of one of the other leagues inside of the match. I mean, not at Daytona, excuse me, Kentucky, which led him to being penalized here inside of the Gen-6 Cup Series when things didn't go Terry Hughes Jr.'s way. Terry Hughes Jr. is winless inside of the Madness Racing League. Does he have the chance to go to victory lane here tonight? His team's telling him to stay calm, stay patient, and see how things unfold. Right around here with the number 4, Kevin Tankos, as he comes across the front straightaway, saving a little bit of Sunoco Racing fuel. That was the topic, though, from the Rush Motorsports team owner, driver of Kevin Tankos, was trying to save as much fuel as possible here on the long run in case we did get one of those oh so desperately bad green flag checkers. You want to be able to make sure you have enough Sunoco Racing fuel inside of the race car. Kevin Tankos' team telling him that he's going to have to be patient here. This isn't the next gen cars. The runs are different. Kevin Tankos has plenty of experience inside of these Class A Cup Series cars. We'll see how things shake out here in the closing laps when we cut the lights off this time around. Get ready to climb the banking here at Talladega Superspeedway into turns 1 and 2. The lights are off on top of the pace car. We're getting ready to go racing, and we're going to stay out of the overtime. So some great adminning here by the Madness Racing League, getting us green quick as possible to stay out of the overtime. We only have 2 shots at it here in the Madness Racing League with overtime, and this is basically a third free chance at it. It looks like we're going to have about 3 to 2 laps to go when that green flag flies out of Peter, the pace car, and he hangs that left on the pit lane. Gladly appreciate everybody tuning in here tonight on the BDSQ Racing channel for Gen-6 Cup Series for the Madness Racing League race here tonight at Talladega. Hot day to go racing here in the high banks at Talladega Superspeedways. They head down this Talladega Super Stretch here. Everybody's working their way back around here. Bobby Kyle, the lucky dog that last time around, so he's been waved around and he is on the lead lap. So the old timer Bobby Kyle will have a shot at it, here on the BDSQ Racing channel. In the closing laps, he's been a victory lane here before this very situation. The Gen-6 car inside the Daytona International Speedway. See how things shake out for that fellow here in the coming laps. Ladies and gentlemen, time of the making here at Talladega. The sun is starting to go down. We've caught a cloud here, so should be a little more grip here for the drivers. Looks like the temperature has dropped down just another degree or 2. We're back down about 74 degrees here at Talladega. Reminding you 2 weeks from now to head on over to the YouTube page. We will be live at the Chicagoland Speedway for the Gen-6 Cup Series, the conclusion of the regular season 2 weeks from now. It's going to be sure to be one hell of an event. We would love to have you guys there tuning in with us each and every single week that we have something coming towards you, whether it's Gen-6 trucks, Xfinity, the late models, modified, starting to kick off Monday night for Season 4 and Season 3. You're definitely not going to want to miss that. Jonathan Smith has a chance to grab his second win here on the year inside of the Talladega Superspeedway for the Alabama 150. Green flag is back in the air here. We're racing in Talladega. 3 laps remain, 5 laps to go, excuse me. So we'll get way more laps than I anticipated to try to make something shake. Ladies and gentlemen, climbing up the banking here at Talladega, Kevin Tankos and Michael Gregory lead the outside line. Behind them will be Neil Rutt III, trying to make something shape here and get a run to the front half of the pack. Maynard on that bottom side line. He's at the 3rd place in line. The number 8 of McIntosh jumps to the top side. Everybody trying to choose lane, but cannot go 3 wide here on the restart into the conclusion of the first lap. That's why Johns will pull back down on the bottom side. Smith will pull door to door here with McIntosh, and McIntosh will pull back into line. Trouble, contacts made down the back straightaway. Chris Knight, he goes around hard on the inside wall. Cuts the flag fly. A sledgehammer shot for the Triple Deuce Discount Tire Machine. The number 11 of B-Town, Indiana's Chris Knight. And indeed. A hard shot there. Kind of make sure Chris Knight puts down that safer net, that safer barrier net, whatever the hell it is inside of that race car. What happened here? Huge checkup off of turn 3 and 4. Coming to 4 laps to go inside of the Madness Racing League. Leads to disaster. It's Chris Knight, the one that's having the hard shot here. Looks like everybody got checked up in front of him. Nothing he could do, and he'll have to lock it down. And a huge, huge shot there for Chris Knight. Crowd will go silent here, not sure entirely what's going on inside of that Triple Deuce machine. We'll back it up one more time. Right on board with Chris Knight and see how much he had his hand full here. See how quickly things shape from going up damn near 200 miles an hour to a damn near stop in an instant. Knocked out a line on the bottom side of the racetrack. Chris Knighty, broken toe link for sure. Caution flag out here at Talladega. So we'll back that ass up one more time. We'll see who hit the back end of Chris Knighty, so we can at least figure out the culprit of the disaster. I know Chris Knighty's going to want to know who ran him over here, but looks like the checkup happened in front of him, and it was Ty Robertson. Just a huge shot here, and a nasty inside shot to the safer barrier for Chris Knighty. Bam! Tries to get the left rear turned around to hit it, but that might have crushed his night here at Talladega. Jonathan Smith will be scored the race leader here if the caution flag flew here. Peter, the pace car, was already on his P's and Q's. He's on and off the racetrack quick in a hurry. We're headed to the overtime here at Talladega. We'll be back in just a moment for the conclusion of the Alabama 150. Back in just a moment. Welcome back here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Here are the remaining scheduled races on the Gen-6 Cup Series for the Madness Racing League schedule. Chicagoland, 2 weeks from now, will be the regular season finale. We'll crown our top 10 drivers heading to the playoffs, competing for the championship inside of the Gen-6 Cup Series League. And then we'll head over for the playoff races at Kansas, Dover, and Las Vegas. Set to be one hell of a finish here inside of the Gen-6 Cup Series regular season. When we got to count down the laps here at Talladega. First, we'll pull up those points results to make sure that you guys are locked and loaded with your top 10 drivers currently scored right now inside of the playoffs. Those in yellow are currently scored as playoff drivers, and those in red are the first drivers out. Trent Hughes needing 30 points to make his way into the field here for the playoffs, and Blake Hochschild is not here tonight. So, ladies and gentlemen, a huge mix-up here inside of the point standings to come after tonight's finish. And guess what? It's Talladega on a green, white, checkered. Anything could happen. Ladies and gentlemen, you found the right damn place to be. It's right here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. We are moments away from getting ready to get the green flag here. These guys are talking it over with the track crew workers to make sure that it is clear to go racing. Don't want to keep you guys any longer than we have to. Looks like Michael Ponder Jr. will be the wave around this time around on the Booty Scoot Racing channel, so he will find himself on the lead lap. Oh no, excuse me, he'll find himself 21 laps down instead of the 22, but any and every point matters. That's what's really the topic here. Chris Knighty has hopped out of that race car. The number 11 discount tire will retire from tonight's event, as well as Trent Hughes. Jonathan Smith will lead the rest of the field down the back straightaway here, led by Ty McIntosh on the outside. Kevin Tango should fill in the inside row here, second in line with Terry Hughes Jr. on the outside line. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see. We'll pull up right here exactly the recap of the racers. I know exactly how many laps that completed. Yeah, so 61 out of the 60 have already been completed. So we will go to the overtime here for the 63 that we had scheduled. And thank God they scheduled it in the banking. 10-4, folks. We will go ahead and looks like we're being told from the admin we'll get the one to go racing this time around, so the green flag will fly here for the overtime. That means I need to go ahead and indicate to you folks here that it'll be 2 attempts at the overtime here on the Booty Scoot Racing Channel's Madness Racing League. Green, white, checkered style. The green flag will fly here in just a moment. If the green flag stays all the way through and these guys complete 1 lap and see the white flag, the next flag will end the race. However, though, folks, if these guys wreck before we get the white flag, there will be a caution flag flown, and we will get one more shot at it. Jonathan Smith will lead them through the restart zone here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel for the Madness Racing League's overtime. McIntosh will be on the outside, led by Terry Hughes Jr. and Kevin Tankos. 2 laps to decide it here on the Alabama 150. Green flag is in the air for the overtime. Who's going to bring it home here in Talladega? Climbing up the banking here through turns 1 and 2. No 3 wide into the completion of the first lap. If these guys want to jump from top to bottom or bottom to top, they can, but no 3 wide. Heading up the exit of turn 2. When they complete the first lap, 3 wide will be in full effect. Who's going to do what, when, where, and why, and try to make a run to the front half of the pack. The Alabama 150 climbs the banking here in turns 3 and 4. Led by, looks like going to be Terry Hughes Jr. and Nicholas Maynard on the outside. What a huge push from the 0-2 to the 81 of Terry Hughes Jr. Does Maynard make a move on the bottom side of the racetrack, try to clear himself? If he's in the lead when the caution flag comes out after the white, he will win it. Hughes never won a race before here on the Booty Scoot Racing Channel. White flags in the air, presented by AFLGlobal.com. They'll climb the banking through turns 1 and 2 for the final time here tonight. The inside line really well coordinated, but the outside line getting a huge run on the momentum. On the outside jumps Michael Gregory. He'll have Colin Cole on the outside. Contacts made. It's going to be a drag race down the back straightaway. Can they get it discombobulated? Maynard gets cleared by, looks like going to be Michael Gregory, who'll get a run to the front half of the pack. But Hughes on the outside has Colin Cole trying to make something shake. Climbing the banking here. Trouble off of turn 3. Trouble. Contacts made off of turn 4. Door bang. One up the racetrack goes Kevin Tankos. Drag race across the front straightaway. Terry Hughes Jr. has drafting help from Colin Cole. Gregory on the bottom side of the racetrack. Drag race to the line. Terry Hughes Jr. wins it at Talladega. Woo! What a finish here on the Booty Scoot Racing Channel for the Alabama 150. Terry Hughes Jr. using lessons learned from 3 seasons to finally put it together. He'll be a winner in the Madness Racing League, and 81XI Racing goes to victory lane for the first time in the Gen-6 Cup Series. What a finish here on the Booty Scoot Racing Channel. 43/100ths of a second decided between Terry Hughes Jr. and Colin Cole. Maynard giving a little bit of salute there to Terry Hughes Jr. What a great push from the 0-2 to get him out front. Robertson will congratulate him. Colin Cole going to be upset with that one. Just short at the line by 43/100ths of a second. But Terry Hughes Jr. from 4th to win it on the restart here in overtime. Head of the victory lane for the first bank for the first time. Here are the final race results. Terry Hughes Jr., Colin Cole, Michael Gregory, Bobby Kyle, and Nicholas Maynard will be the top 5 drivers here on the Booty Scoot Racing Channel. But no one's going to be more happier than the number 81 and Terry Hughes Jr., who wins his first race ever here on the Booty Scoot Racing Channel with First Bank of Alabama on the hood. The crowd rip and roar, the hometown driver, and Terry Hughes Jr. will come across the front straightaway and burn it down for you fans. How does Terry Hughes Jr. like to play his first burnout? He's going to tear it up. He's going to blow the motor here in the 81XI Ford Mustang. What a burnout here across the front straightaway in front of the hometown fans for Terry Hughes Jr. Wins it here at Talladega in the closing laps. What a great run off the front bumper of the 0-2, but Terry Hughes Jr. able to hold it together, burns it across the front straightaway. He'll take it to the grass. 81XI Racing will come out and congratulate the number 81 First Bank Ford Mustang, of Terry Hughes Jr. He'll bring you back across the front straightaway line, and we'll have your guys' driver interviews when we return. Terry Hughes Jr. wins the Alabama 150.
Acts like everything's okay. Stripped of your crown, knocked off your throne. It's the price you pay. I wanna see your face as you watch the world fall apart at the seams. I know all your secrets. I know all your lies. You should know what goes around comes around. You get what you get.
Welcome back here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel, and you definitely get what you deserve. Terry Hughes Jr. deserves this one. He takes the win here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel for 81XI Racing and takes them straight to victory lane. For the first time ever, the number 81 will climb out of the race car here and salute the hometown fans. We got a pit reporter down there on pit lane with the driver of the number 81. Let's see what Terry Hughes has to say after his first win inside of the Madness Racing League. Go ahead.
Down here in victory lane for the Alabama 150, live here for the Madness Racing League Gen-6 Cup Series for race number 6 on the year. We are with the race winner, the number 81 First Bank Ford Mustang of Terry Hughes Jr. Terry, after all of the starts, you're finally a winner here in the Madness Racing League. Kind of walk us through your night here tonight at Talladega. Had your brother in the field, had some teammates around you. This Blue Oval had some fast speed late in the run. Kind of talk us about what your crew chief did on top of that number 81 pit box as you call yourself a winner here tonight.
Oh man, I just got to thank everybody here: Kevin Tankos, Ty Robertson, Jonathan Smith, Trent, Chris. I can't thank none of them enough. They're a bunch of, it's a group of awesome guys there. Appreciate First Bank for jumping on with us today. Man, it's been a long time coming, dude. It's but there, like, we were just trying to get through most of the laps there and make sure we didn't wreck the car, because that's what last thing we needed, especially leading the points, is to not have a good race. We were going to be happy with the top 5. That's all we really needed. And then we found ourselves in the top 5 there the last 2 restarts, and we just had a good group of guys around us. Appreciate Nicholas Maynard there as well. Some great racing. I just can't thank you guys enough.
That's the driver of the number 81 First Bank Ford Mustang, Terry Hughes. The hometown crowd to go wild at the Alabama driver wins it here in Talladega, Alabama. Let's go down to second place finisher, driver of the number 9 Camaro of Colin Cole. Colin, kind of walk us through your race here tonight at Talladega, 43/100ths of a second away from your, what would be technically your 3rd win on the season, but your 2nd one that would be count officially. Kind of walk us through your season here up to this part of the year, coming in midway throughout the year, and slowly climbing up that standings more. You might have a shot at the playoffs, finishing another runner-up here tonight at the Talladega Speedway.
I just wanted to have a decent finish. You know, Talladega gets crazy. But through the year, it's been a really fun year with this group of guys, and I kind of owed Terry one from that very first race of mine. So I pushed him out, and I was just going to push whoever was in front of me, but decided to run the little throwback Tony Stewart Coke car tonight. That was pretty fast, and had a lot of fun. But yeah.
That's the driver of the number 9 of Colin Cole. He'll bring home a runner-up spot here tonight. Let's go down to the 02 of Nicholas Maynard here in the PPG Ford Mustang. Nick, kind of walk us through your race here in the closing lap after leading some laps here tonight at Talladega. Oh, yeah, we had a fast Team Penske Ford Mustang 02 PPG machine here tonight at Talladega. Again, drafted on the high banks, one of my favorite things, one of my specialties is these SuperSpeedway races. We led a lot of laps here tonight, big pushes there off the front nose of the 777. He did a great job. Just a huge shout-out to Bobby Kyle. When it comes to the closing laps there, though, I committed to myself that I was going to push the 81 at some point during the day, and it just happened to be right there in the overtime. Things aligned perfect. But Kevin Tankos and those guys shot out at a rocket at the end. I thought we were definitely going to get toasted. But things got bottled up behind us. We got a great push. Just when they got wrecked behind us, we couldn't get back to the back bumper of that 12 of Michael Gregory and get them across the line. But huge shout-out to the 81 team. It's been a long time coming. We'll take a top 5. After drive the 02 of Nicholas Maynard, he'll bring home the P5. We'll scoot down here to the number 4 machine of Kevin Tankos, driver of the number 4 for Rush Motorsports in the 10th place position. Kevin, kind of walk us through your race here. I mean, shooting out of a rocket there at the end, coming to the line, pushing the number 12 machine. You got the 12 clear, but just couldn't quite get yourself out front. Kind of walk us through what was going through this 4 team tonight at Talladega.
Yeah, not quite the day we wanted for Rush Motorsports, P10 and P11 for the 4 and 88, but definitely happy to see that 81 in victory lane. It's been a long time coming for him, and I'm super happy for him. do a lot of work week in, week out for these races, and to see it finally pay off for him is absolutely huge. At this point, I'm just hoping to pass tech inspection because I got on the back stretch when we got green, and this thing was going, I think, maybe a little too fast. So hopefully we put the right restrictor plate in, and we can pass and keep this top 10. Decent points, but could definitely have been a better day, especially with the speed in this car. But again, congrats to Terry. Love to see that 81 car in victory lane for 811.
Kevin Tanko is the one-time winner here in Season 3 on the Gen-6 Cup Series. Will bring home a top 10 tonight at the Talladega SuperSpeedway. We'll throw it back up to the booth with the first bank number 81 Ford Mustang of Terry Hughes Jr. wins it here at Talladega.
And we'll throw it back up here to the booth on the Booty Scoot Racing channel and pull up the final results as the timer marks down here for the Madness Racing League Gen-6 Cup Series. Terry Hughes Jr. wins it here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel, trying to make something shake inside of the Booty Scoot Racing channel's Madness Racing League Gen-6 Cup Series. He was already the regular season points leader, and a big win here today for the number 81 of Terry Hughes Jr. will set him apart for 81XI Racing. Their first win on the season and their first win on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Colin Cole brings home the second place spot here tonight on the Alabama 150 from Lincoln, Nebraska. He'll have to try to re-rack it here a couple weeks from now at Chicagoland in the number 9. The number 12 of Michael Gregory brings home the third place spot after starting on the pole here tonight. He'll have to try to rethink things here at Chicagoland 2 weeks from now with Bobby Kyle from Montersville, Georgia. Some big pushes there to the 02 of Nicholas Maynard. The BKM Racing Machine had some speed in it, though, here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. The 777 with the top 5 here tonight in the 4th place spot. The kid of Nicholas Maynard from Welford, South Carolina will leave the race here tonight with the most laps led with 15 laps completed out front with Bobby Kyle pushing all over the back bumper, so he'll owe him a big help there. The 02 of Nicholas Maynard should be seated well for the playoff. Top 5 here tonight for the 02. Neil Rutt part-time here, led 13 laps out on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. That 66 machine had tons of speed in it. The NR3 Designs 66 chromed out for MND Motorsports this week. Definitely made its name noticed. Ty McIntosh grabs the 7th place spot here in his number 8 Southern Speed Company Bass Pro Shop Chevy Camaro. Some big-time racing here tonight from Ty McIntosh and his debut. Trent Johns from MTL Motorsports. Dirt driver turned oval, going wild here at Talladega. Big moves, big blocks, big runs from the Toyota Camry here tonight. A top 8 for the MTL Motorsports 54. Tim Powers, switch that 54 around, you get 45. That's what the 45 finish here tonight. He'll grab the 9th place spot inside of the Richard Petty Enterprise number 45 Camaro. The 10th place spot will go to Kevin Tanko's inside of his Rush Motorsports number 4 machine. A huge run down the back straightaway. He was in tow, in line with that outside line, getting a run to the front of the pack, but he was right rear hooked hard into the outside wall. Kevin Tanko's talked to him there during the interview. Seemed to appear to be okay. Ty Robertson, Last Row Motorsports, and the 11th place spots here tonight for the number 88 machine. He was involved in the accident there in the closing laps. Jonathan Smith for KnappDaddyRacing, the series sponsor, number 13 machine, had a chance at a victory here tonight, but things didn't line his way. No drafting help for the number 13 in the closing laps. He'll finish in the 12th place position with Dominic Solano. And that number 9 Napa Auto Parts machine, a big-time race here tonight for the Wakulla, Florida driver. He'll bring home the 13th place spot in his first Gen-6 Cup race. Another blue oval, and Chris Knighty from B-Town, Indiana. Would have loved to see what the B-Town driver had in store here. 5 laps down after a hard shot to the inside safer barrier after getting checked up and ran over from behind by Trenton Johns. Chris Knighty, though, for 81XI Racing will make the trip on down the victory lane to join his team for the first time here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Trent Hughes, the younger brother of Terry Hughes Jr., tore up there in the closing laps, but Trent Hughes made sure that his name was made on the PA announcements here tonight in Alabama in front of the hometown crowd as the Troy, Alabama driver brings home the 15th place spot here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel for 81XI Racing. Ladies and gentlemen, that rounded out the 16th place spot here tonight to Michael Ponder Jr. from Ranger, Georgia. The doctor is going to need to schedule an appointment here to go see another one because he's going to need a specialist after that shot he took earlier. Michael Ponder Jr. in MTL Motorsports 13 brings home the 16th place spot here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel, and that will do it for the rest of the guys behind him that were not able to make it out on the field. Ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it here tonight from a beautiful, looming Talladega sky here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. We'll pull up the race recap. Terry Hughes Jr. wins his first race here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. We had what was actually 3 cautions for 12 laps with 22 lead changes here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, the weather report here before we want to remind you, before you go head out there to the parking lot, grab another beer. It's starting to get warm again, 75 degrees with 9-mile-per-hour wind gusts. But the party's going to be celebrating down there in Victory Lane with Terry Hughes Jr. going to Victory Lane for the first time ever on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. We'll celebrate here tonight at Talladega as we head to the all-out dirt tour tomorrow at the Eldora Speedway for the UMP Modified Division. We'll gladly hope to see you tomorrow night. Terry Hughes Jr. wins it. He'll celebrate big time here tonight with his family in store, live here at Talladega. We appreciate you guys tuning in. We're live here 2 weeks from now at Chicagoland Speedway for the Gen-6 Cup Series. We'll see you then.